Okay, so Unashamedly Superhuman is a working title for a speech I've been developing over the last 18 months. It's effectively built around three words: smarter, stronger, and better. And putting that simply, it's about how to become a little smarter about becoming stronger in order to be better, not surviving but thriving under pressure. And I guess this speech is not just for those people who are looking to, impact and improve their business performance. It's also for those who are, they're happy with their output, their performance level, but they just want to maintain those same standards, without it taking a toll on them. How to succeed easier, save a little for when you get home. And this speech, and I appreciate that the title, Unashamedly Superhuman, is a little provocative. It tends to, we kind of say that label normally for those rare few people, right? Those individuals that have achieved something, seemingly impossible. Superhumans have superpowers, right? We're taught they're not like us. They're super fast, super strong, super capable. They're different. And the closer inspection for the last 18 months, I'm not so sure. I mean, the area of discipline they focus on, their endeavor, is different, but it would appear the very thing they're drawing on to enable them to achieve this seemingly impossible feat is actually an inbuilt system that we all very much share. And this session is about providing a process for revealing these readily available human resources. And again, I'm not saying that, superhumans for everyone. I mean, it sounds a bit uncomfortable when we say it out loud. It's not for everyone. It's not very British, right? And genuinely, not everyone wants to be number one on the planet, the best in their field. I mean, some of us don't even want to be the best in the office, right? However, most of us do want to do good work. We do want to do rewarding and rewarded work. We want to be fulfilled. At the very least, we want to, at the end of the day, feel better than we did at the beginning of the day, right? So it may not be essential to be the best, but it would appear that there's an increasing need for us to be at our best, particularly in the moments that matter most. And it kind of raises a topic that we've heard a lot about over recent years. Whether I've been working with teams, leaders, managers, this word resilience has come up a lot and is very much front of mind. And I guess it's refreshing, to see that we're putting the spotlight on that and looking for solutions. I mean, back in the 90s, burnout was considered, a badge of honor. It was almost an acceptable price to pay for success, right? Finally, we're coming around to the fact that it's not only ineffective, it's unacceptable, right? People get hurt. Noticed recently, Kevin Johnson, CEO of Starbucks, announced that mental health support is now considered an employee benefit. So it's good. However, there's an unavoidable caveat to this, and that is that the very things that cause the stress, the pressure, haven't gone anywhere. Things aren't getting easier, right? The bar of expectation continues to rise. Competition's fierce. Growth targets obviously always pointing north. In some companies, it's still very much a case of up or out. The pressure seemingly is always on. So what's the solution? And this is where I've been trying to focus on. How do we influence our response to this? I was working recently with a group from the military, from Special Forces, and they said two things that really stood out and resonated with me. One was, when you're faced with a challenge, we don't so much rise to the occasion, we fall to the level of our training, which is an interesting statement. We think we're going to switch it on when the pressure's on. They went, no. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. And the second thing they said was, don't wish it was easier, just wish to be better. Which is a bit cliched, but it's true, right? But better at what? Train what? Pressure, stress, performance anxiety, these are emotional, physical responses to external situations, events, environments. And we're hardwired to respond. You go back 50,000 years, right? We respond to real threats all day, every day, danger from all sides from the environment. The name of the game was survival. The reptilian brain's hardwired for fight or flight. If you're being chased by a velociraptor, you don't want to stand there thinking, what are my options, right? You want to run without delay. Fortunately, the autonomic nervous system kicks in, rush of adrenaline, followed by some cortisol, the stress hormone, but it heightens the awareness, literally gives us a physical and psychological boost. It works, and that's fine once a day, maybe twice. But our system's not built to run on adrenaline and cortisol. It wears you down, it'll wear you out. Back in the day, it was only required in short bursts. Today, the dangers that trigger the same reaction, the fight or flight response, the stress hormone, they're not physically threatening. These are the ups and downs of the economy, the new technology impacting our role in the workplace. Competition trying to put us out of business. The constant need to do more with less. Right? The problem is they're not occasional stressful moments, they're constants. And what's more, we have no control over these threats. In fact, some would say we have no control over our emotional response to them as well. However, I beg to differ, right? There's good news. right? A relatively recent body of work, some groundbreaking neuroscience. It challenges that reactive assumption, right? And in fact, it not only suggests, but it scientifically proves that there are practical ways to recondition the way we respond to the stress and the pressure that we face day to day. Tangible techniques for how to, thrive, not survive. I was listening recently to Elon Musk, and he was talking about the future and the impact it's going to have. And he talks about AI quite a lot. And he's saying, look, it already is having an effect. The genie's out of the bottle. Right? The best case scenario, he was saying, is we'll somehow integrate AI with our physiology in order to enhance human capability. He said we're practically cyborgs already, phones strapped to our hands, giving us a huge amount of information. How much smarter are we with a computer? Right? Much. Right? A tremendous amount of information at our fingertips. We can do complex calculations, search for solutions, perfect and almost limitless memory capability. Our competence is enhanced, knowledge, capability. However, there's a big difference between having the information, knowing what to do, competence, and being able to put it into practice, especially under pressure, having the confidence, right, to do what we know, right? Because the pressure's always on. However, and it's just a metaphor, so go with the metaphor. What if there was a way to equally and dramatically boost our confidence as well, our emotional state? Right? So stay with the metaphor. What if you could install a microchip that would give you the ability to select an optimum state, the most conducive way to feel in order to meet the demands of any situation? Right? If you could, would you? Right? Probably. Right? Unashamedly. The exciting news is we don't need to wait for AI. There is compelling scientific evidence, right, to suggest that we already have this capability built into our nervous system. And during this session, we're going to demonstrate not just how to access it, but how to apply it, how to turn it into winning behaviors that achieve tangible business results. In fact, you can judge this session by your results.